The sky above Zirian Prime shimmered in impossible hues. Molten violet streaked with teal, clouds of starlight drifting across two suns. Mountains rose like jagged spines from the luminescent forests, rivers of liquid crystal carving valleys that pulsed with faint psychic energy. The air hummed, not with sound, but with vibration the soul could feel. Captain Kael Renn, diplomat explorer of Earth's interstellar core, crouched atop a cliff, surveying the alien expanse. His boots scuffed against the crystalline soil, sending fractal sparks scattering. The mission had been simple: gather intelligence on refugee movements near the Outer Rim. But Zirian's astral storms had a reputation for chaos. Kael adjusted the strap of his quantum field pack, the one that allowed him to survive atmospheres humans weren't meant to breathe. A sudden shimmer in the horizon caught his eye. A small vessel, tailing a trail of ionized gas, spun wildly, smoke trailing from its engine ports. It wasn't a battle, it was a crash, and the ship bore markings unfamiliar to any galactic registry Kael knew. He leapt, light and precise, moving closer to the wreck. As he landed on the ridge, he caught a glimpse of a figure sprawled amid the debris. Her limbs were delicate, and she radiated an aura of warmth Kael had never felt in a human or alien before, a soft, pulsing light in the stormy violet dusk. The storm howled, trees bending, rivers glowing brighter, yet Kael's focus was fixed. Around him, automated rescue drones hovered, but they bypassed the lone figure. "Abandoned," he muttered, heart tightening. Humans might have hesitated, but Kael Renn never did. He stepped forward. His boots sank into crystal sand. "Hey!" he called, voice carrying over the psychic hum. "I've got you. You're not alone." The figure stirred, opening luminous eyes that mirrored the twin suns. A soft, melodic voice whispered, barely audible over the storm. "Terrans, you help?" Kael extended a hand, and for the first time he felt it. Not her hand, but her mind, brushing against his. A gentle pulse of thought, alien yet intimate, tugged at his consciousness, a whisper of trust forming a fragile bridge. This was no ordinary rescue. This was the beginning of something extraordinary. Kael's hand hovered over the wreck, brushing shards of crystal hull aside. The figure stirred fully, struggling to sit, hair like spun silver trailing in the wind. Around them, the remnants of the crash glimmered, broken consoles, flickering lights, and a faint pulse emanating from the ship's core. Then the sound came, a piercing, rhythmic beep, carried to the storm like a heartbeat, a distress signal, not just any beacon. This one was encoded in a language Kael didn't know, yet somehow understood. His heart skipped. Whoever, or whatever, had sent it was asking for help, but the message carried urgency, fear, and hope all at once. Behind him, the automated drones whirred to life. They scanned the wreck, identifying survivors. Yet they moved past the glowing alien woman without hesitation. Protocol or fear? Kael didn't wait to analyze. He acted. "I'm not leaving her," he muttered. He scooped her into his arms, the psychic hum intensifying. She leaned into him, shivering, and he realized the bond they'd felt earlier wasn't just a trick of the mind. It was real. Above them, Zirian's twin suns began to dip, painting the crystalline forest in streaks of molten gold. Shadows stretched, twisting into forms Kael had learned to recognize as the planet's native predators, shimmering quadrupeds with translucent hides and glowing eyes. Their curiosity was not friendly. Kael's boots struck the ground in rapid steps, dodging jagged crystal outcrops. The alien woman whispered softly into his mind, the words like rippling water. "Danger follows faster than your kind can see." He tightened his grip, "Then we'll run faster." They didn't have time to reach the drone's safety net. Kael vaulted over a crystal spire as a predator lunged in the shadows, psychic pulses scattering around them. The alien woman, small, fragile, placed her hands on his back instinctively. Warmth surged through him, not from her touch but from the mystic power she radiated. A subtle push, a protective wave of energy that slowed the predator's movement, just enough for Kael to sidestep. Breathing hard, Kael glanced at her. She looked at him with eyes wide, fear mixed with gratitude. "You're different," she murmured, almost shyly. He smirked, though sweat ran down his temple. "Humans are special. And I don't leave anyone behind. The wind howled, carrying the alien scent of ozone and crystal pollen. Above, a storm cloud shimmered unnaturally, as though the planet itself was watching them. Kael didn't know if it was curiosity or judgment, but one thing was certain. Their flight had just begun. The night sky over Earth's Pacific Rim shimmered with a strange, alien light. The refugees' ship, battered and burning from an unplanned jump through hyperspace, hurtled toward the surface. It tore through the atmosphere with a streak of silver, trailing ionized mist that lit up the clouds like molten lightning. Kael watched from a remote cliffside, the alien woman cradled in his arms. Her aura pulsed brighter as Earth's magnetic field touched her, resonating through her psychic energy like a tuning fork. She whispered into his mind, a soft tremor of fear. "We may not survive this." Kael's jaw tightened. "We will. I don't fail anyone." The ship struck the ocean with a deafening roar, waves towering like liquid mountains. Pieces of debris exploded in fiery showers. Kael sprinted toward the impact zone, moving with a fluid agility only a trained explorer could muster. The alien woman clung to him, her ethereal light illuminating the wreckage path ahead. Onshore, the humans had already mobilized. Emergency response teams, military units, and automated drones arrived, scanning for survivors. Yet, just as on Zirian Prime, the alien refugees were met with panic, suspicion, and, most devastating, abandonment. Those who should have helped stepped back. Kael ignored them. He leapt into the debris, dodging falling metal and fire, and pulled survivors free. Small alien beings, huddled and broken, looked at him with awe and relief. You save us?" one whispered, its voice trembling like wind over crystal. He shook his head. "We save each other. That's how we survive." From the wreckage, a massive energy pulse erupted, a signal from the enemy fleet tracking the refugees across space. The ground trembled, glass shattered, and alarm screamed. Kael instinctively shielded the alien woman with his body, the psychic bond between them flaring in response. A wave of warmth and clarity pulsed through him. In that moment, he could feel her fear, her hope, her courage, and she could feel his resolve. Somewhere above, a sleek, black craft streaked across the sky, silent, menacing, its purpose unmistakable. Earth would no longer be just a sanctuary. It was a battlefield, and Kael Renn, diplomat explorer, had just decided he would stand between these refugees and any danger, no matter the cost. As he lifted the alien woman, another survivor, small and frightened, clung to his leg. Kael smiled despite the chaos. "Welcome to Earth," he said. "It's rough, but we'll make it home." The psychic glow between him and the woman flared brighter than ever, painting the night with a promise. They were bound now, together, and nothing, not storm, enemy, or empire, would break that bond easily. Earth's command centers erupted in chaos. Satellite feeds tracked the alien refugees' descent, the unknown vessel, and Kael's small rescue team in real time. Military generals barked orders, politicians shouted over comms, and media drones streamed every moment. Kael ignored it all. Every eye in the command center seemed to ask the same question: who are these aliens, and why are we helping them? He knelt beside the alien woman, her pulse glowing faintly against his palm. "It doesn't matter what they think," he said. "We do what's right." The woman's mind brushes again faintly. "Your determination, Terran, unusual." Kael smirked. "I like to think humans are special." In the aftermath of the crash, other human teams picked up survivors, alien adults, children, even wounded mystics. But one small figure, barely conscious, was left behind in burning wreckage. Kael ran back into the smoke. "Not this one," he growled. He lifted her into his arms, ignoring the burning metal, the heat, the drones shouting warnings. As he emerged from the wreckage, the psychic bond flared, stronger than before. He felt her heartbeat, her fear, and the faintest spark of hope. This was no ordinary rescue. It was destiny. A sleek black craft descended from orbit, pursuing the wreckage survivors. Drones and automated interceptors opened fire. Kael sprinted across jagged terrain, the alien woman clinging to him, weaving through debris, ducking under beams of energy. Her soft psychic glow pulsed as she whispered into his mind. "Faster! Follow the river, it will hide us." Kael nodded. I don't need directions, just need you alive. The chase ended at a river of molten crystal. Kael leapt, the alien woman in his arms, landing on the far bank. Predators and enemy scouts halted, sensing the psychic aura, unsure whether to attack. Kael smiled, catching his breath. We're not easy prey. Kael found a cavern network beneath the crystal cliffs, its walls shimmering with natural energy conduits. He set down the alien woman, tending to minor burns and cuts. I've never seen anyone like you, he admitted. She smiled softly, eyes bright. Nor I like you, Terran. As they sat together, the psychic link deepened. He could hear her thoughts now, not words, but feelings. Joy, fear, gratitude, and a growing trust. She laid her hand on his arm, sending a wave of warmth. Kael shivered, not from the cold, but from the undeniable connection forming between them. As night fell, twin moons rose over the alien horizon. Kael and the alien woman sat together, sharing stories of their worlds. Her species' memories flowed in flashes. Ancient forests, psychic schools, rituals that bound mind and soul. When their hands brushed, a pulse of psychic energy surged between them. Visions of one another's memories, fears, and hopes danced in their minds. Kael whispered, If this is a bond, I won't break it. Not for anyone. She responded faintly, Nor I for you. The bond was born, subtle yet undeniable, signaling that their destinies were now intertwined. Kael held an alien script tablet, trying to mimic sounds. She giggled, a melodic trill that made the cavern glow brighter. Terranod, she teased, but endearing. Kael grinned. You're teaching me, I'm learning. Isn't that what diplomats do? Their laughter echoed, blending with psychic pulses as their minds shared impressions and memories. Each laugh, each glance, built trust and deepened the subtle bond growing between them. Over a small fire, alien refugees told Kael their stories, fleeing oppression, genocidal orders from a distant empire, and secret war crimes against their people. Kael listened, heart tightening. Then Earth isn't just a refuge, he said. It's our shield, and I'll stand in front of anything that tries to hurt you. The alien woman watched him silently, her glow pulsing brighter, as if acknowledging a shared purpose. The alien woman led Kael to a natural crystal pool. Placing her hands over his wounds, she hummed, sending a healing psychic wave that mended his cuts and soothed his muscles. Kael felt not just physical restoration, but emotional clarity, a bond deeper than touch. You're incredible, he murmured. She smiled softly. And you, remarkable in ways you do not yet see. A dark craft hovered above the caverns. Enemy agents deployed silently, moving like shadows. Kael sensed them first, through the alien's subtle psychic whispers. Kael, they are close, she warned. He nodded. Together, they moved like shadows, avoiding patrols, combining psychic intuition with human agility. This first brush with enemy forces tested their bond and trust under pressure. As they hid in a crystalline alcove, tension broke into playful teasing. Do all humans think they can jump across crystal rivers without breaking a leg? She asked, eyes sparkling. I thought only aliens had a problem with clumsy humans, Kael replied, grinning. A laugh escaped them both. Even amidst danger, sparks flew. The psychic connection pulsed softly, reflecting shared amusement and growing attraction. Night draped over the caverns like a velvet cloak. Kael sat beside the alien woman, their hands intertwined. She closed her eyes, and suddenly he felt her thoughts. Not words, but emotions, memories, glimpses of her past. Fear, longing, hope, trust. Kael exhaled slowly. It's incredible, he murmured. I can feel you like you're part of me. She smiled softly, her glow warming his skin. And you, part of me, together, stronger than alone. The bond had grown beyond simple awareness. Their souls were brushing, intertwining, a psychic tapestry linking human courage with alien grace. Exploring deeper caverns for shelter, Kael stumbled across holographic data crystals. Images flickered. Alien cities aflame, refugees being hunted, elite military units committing atrocities across multiple star systems. Kael's jaw tightened. They've been chasing you for a reason, he whispered to the alien woman. She touched his arm, psychic pulse confirming fear and grief. We fled, but the galaxy hides her crimes. We were mistakes they wanted to erase. Kael's hands clenched. Then we'll make sure Earth becomes a safe ground, a shield. I won't let them touch you again. By the crystal pool, tension broke into closeness. Their faces hovered inches apart. She brushed her hair back, her gaze holding his. Terran, do you feel it? The bond, our bond. Kael whispered, voice low. Every heartbeat, every thought. I won't break it. Ever. Their lips met in a gentle, lingering kiss, filled with curiosity and unspoken promise. Their psychic pulses flared in response, warmth radiating through their connected minds. Even in a war-torn galaxy, intimacy was a sanctuary. The refugees needed guidance. Kael organized them, combining human strategy with alien mystic instincts. Move through the river canyon at dawn, he instructed. It's the safest path. Trust me. The alien woman added soft clarifications via psychic whispers to the group. Humans listened, uncertain at first, but her aura of calm authority, combined with Kael's decisiveness, inspired trust. For the first time, human and alien cooperation felt natural, almost destined. High above the canyon, enemy scouts observed through cloaked sensors. The Admiral's fleet had tracked the refugees across space. They would not let them escape. Kael sensed them first, not with sight, but through the psychic bond. They're coming, she whispered. Kael's grip on her hand tightened. Then we show them humans are more than they imagine. The psychic bond flared, a surge of courage and resolve, linking two species against a shared threat. Earth, for now, became a proving ground. Dawn painted Earth's horizon in streaks of crimson and gold. The refugees had settled into a hidden cavern deep beneath a mountain range, its walls alive with luminescent flora that pulsed gently with psychic energy. Kael stood before them, arms crossed, surveying the small but determined group. Among them was the alien woman, softly glowing, her delicate hands brushing over tiny sigils etched into the walls, ancient protective glyphs meant to shield the cave from detection. Listen, Kael began, his voice steady yet commanding. The Empire's agents will come. They have superior firepower, but we have something they can't touch. Our unity, our ingenuity, and our courage. He gestured to the alien woman. And their abilities are enhanced when combined with ours. Follow her lead, and we survive together. The woman stepped forward, eyes bright with determination. Her voice, soft but resonant, carried in psychic whispers only those attuned could feel. Focus on your mind as well as your body. Let your intent flow through you. Fear cloud strength. Kael nodded, feeling the subtle hum of her energy wash over him. He spent hours training the human refugees, dodging, climbing, improvising weapons from crystal shards and debris. She taught them subtle psychic techniques, pulses of warmth that could distract, slow, or even confuse enemies. Each successful exercise drew Kael and the woman closer, the psychic bond thrumming in response to shared laughter, mutual encouragement, and the quiet intimacy of late-night conversations. By dusk, Kael found himself kneeling beside her beside a small fire, brushing a strand of hair from her face. I've faced plenty of soldiers, alien and human, but I've never met anyone like you, he said. Her soft laugh vibrated in his mind and soul. Nor I like you. There is strength in your heart. He swallowed hard. The bond wasn't just strategic. It was personal, intimate, undeniable. In that moment, Kael realized he wasn't training just to survive. He was preparing to protect her. Night fell like a velvet curtain over the industrial sprawl near the coastline. Kael, the alien woman, and two human volunteers crept through shadows, using psychic signals to communicate silently. The target was a covert liaison facility where captured refugees were interrogated. Kael's pulse quickened, not just from danger, but from the electrical awareness of her mind brushing against his. Inside the facility, metal corridors hummed with surveillance drones and guards armed with energy rifles. Kael's strategy was simple: stealth, speed, and psychic distraction. The woman raised her hand, and a gentle wave of her energy diffused the cameras, causing a momentary flicker. Kael darted through the shadows, guiding the humans with whispered commands, hearts pounding. At one point, A guard rounded a corner. Kael froze. The alien woman stepped forward, placing her hand on the guard's chest. Not violently, but with a psychic wave that whispered calm, disorientation, and compliance. The man staggered, muttering confused phrases, then turned and wandered away. Kael's breath caught. "You saved us and him," he whispered. She only smiled faintly, her aura glowing warmer. Sometimes the mind is the sharpest weapon. Together, they moved deeper, freeing imprisoned refugees, blending alien magic and human ingenuity. Every step strengthened their psychic link. She felt his determination. He felt her compassion. By the time they exited under cover of night, several guards incapacitated and prisoners freed. Kael's respect and desire was undeniable. Alarms blared as Kael and the refugees sprinted across the jagged shoreline, pursued by a swarm of imperial drones. Waves crashed like thunder against crystalline rocks, mist carrying the electric tang of alien energy. Kael pulled the alien woman close, moving with precision, anticipating the dangers before they appeared. She extended her hands, sending subtle pulses that knocked drones off balance, just enough for the humans to evade. Kael marveled at her power, delicate, ethereal, yet devastatingly effective. Their psychic bond pulsed with every coordinated move, their minds syncing as naturally as if they had rehearsed for years. At a narrow cliffside bridge, Kael glanced at her. "We're exposed." He caught her hand, and they jumped together, landing hard on the other side. Her laughter, breathless and melodic, echoed in his mind. Terran reckless but brave. He grinned, despite pain and exhaustion. "And you're amazing." Never doubted it for a second. The refugees cheered as they reached cover, hearts pounding, bodies shaking. The enemy fleet was still overhead, but the bond forged in battle and the shared survival instincts had made them stronger than any machine could anticipate. Later, in the secluded glow of the cave's crystal heart, Kael and the alien woman finally allowed themselves to acknowledge the depths of their desire. The psychic pulses between them intensified, feelings unspoken spilling freely into their minds, their bodies entwined in a dance of passion and trust. Every touch amplified by the psychic link, thoughts, fears, and pleasure intertwined, and the alien woman whispered in a language felt more than heard, transmitting every sensation directly into Kael's consciousness. "I've never felt this connection," Kael murmured, voice rough with emotion. "Nor I," she replied, every nuance of thought and feeling bridging species, worlds, and hearts. The night stretched around them, a cocoon of warmth, trust, and mutual discovery. When dawn broke, their connection remained deeper, stronger, and unbroken, a psychic and physical bond that would define their journey ahead. Exhausted but awake, Kael held the alien woman, their hands entwined over the glowing cave crystals. The psychic bond, still thrumming, gave Kael a glimpse, a vision of what might come. He saw the refugees thriving, Earth's defenders united with aliens, and a galaxy slowly learning to respect humanity's courage. She felt it too, warmth and intertwining. "Terran, together, we are more than survival. We are hope." Kael kissed her forehead, whispering, "Then we make it real. No matter the empire, no matter the cost." Their bond, psychic and intimate, had become a symbol, a shared destiny that would carry them into the darkest shadows ahead. The night was alive with a hum of enemy drones, their sensors sweeping the crystal forest like predatory eyes. Kael and the alien woman led a small group of refugees, moving carefully through a labyrinth of jagged crystal spires. Their psychic bond hummed in tandem, a quiet reassurance amid chaos. Suddenly, a hidden net of energy pulsed from above, locking them in place. Kael's eyes widened, an invisible trap. Before he could react, armored soldiers dropped from above, weapons trained. The alien woman's aura flared in warning, psychic pulses sending alerts directly into his mind. "Kael!" she screamed, her voice both real and psychic. He lunged, but a blast struck the ground beneath him, throwing him back. By the time he scrambled to his feet, the soldiers had seized her, dragging her into a hovering transport. Her hands reached for him, their psychic link straining under distance and interference. Kael's heart twisted. He could feel her fear, anger, and helplessness pulsing through the bond. "I won't let them take you," he muttered through gritted teeth. He grabbed a fallen rifle, Scanning the sky, the transport ascended rapidly, leaving only a faint psychic echo of her presence. Behind him, the refugees looked to him, some in fear, others in awe. Kael squared his shoulders. We fight, and we bring her back. No one is left behind. Not ever. Even separated, their bond vibrated with purpose, a tether across space and danger, promising reunion and defiance against impossible odds. Knew he couldn't rescue her alone. He contacted Earth's hidden interstellar research units, sympathetic alien allies in exile, and a few rogue mercenaries who owed him favors. Plans were drawn, strategies debated, and Kael moved with decisive precision, earning the grudging trust of both human and alien forces. The alien woman's psychic presence, faint but perceptible across communications, guided him. They will expect aggression. We must move with mind and heart, not only weapons, she whispered. By nightfall, a coalition of humans and aliens stood ready. Kael addressed them, voice steady, eyes glowing with determination. The Empire has underestimated us, but together, with our courage, our wits, and our bonds, we will succeed. Not just for us, but for hope, for freedom, and for the innocent they hunt. His words resonated through minds and hearts. Refugees, warriors, and allies felt a shared pulse of determination, a psychic echo of Kael and the alien woman's unwavering resolve. The stage was set for the storm to come. The enemy transport had brought her to a vast, circular chamber, walls etched with forbidden runes pulsing with dark energy. She was restrained in a psychic containment field, preventing her from accessing her full abilities. Her aura flickered faintly, struggling against the oppressive force. She closed her eyes, reaching inward. Memories of her lineage surged. Ancient forests, moonlit rituals, and mystics who had walked the stars for centuries. She could feel Kael's presence, distant but undeniable. The psychic bond flared, giving her strength against the prison's drain. I am not alone, she whispered. I have him, and he has me. The chamber's energy trembled, runes flickering under the force of her resistance. Her ancestors' spirits whispered through her, urging her to awaken. And in that moment, she realized that Kael's courage had always been part of her power. Together, across the void, they could shatter any cage. That night, separated by space, Kael and the alien woman experienced a shared vision. Their minds intertwined fully, not just emotion but consciousness. He saw her memories, her hopes, the weight of her people's suffering. She felt his unwavering determination, his belief in humanity's courage, and his undying promise to protect her. In the dreamscape, they stood together on a crystal spire overlooking an endless galaxy. Stars shimmered as if responding to their bond. She took his hand, and the psychic energy between them pulsed like a heartbeat across worlds. Terran, together, we are unstoppable, she whispered, voice echoing in both their minds. Kael grinned, tears glinting in his eyes. Then let's make it real. No force in the galaxy can stop us. When they awoke, though still separated physically, the bond had deepened, an unbreakable thread connecting their hearts, minds, and spirits. Kael led the allied forces through the enemy's outer defenses. Cloaked ships glided silently, psychic shields pulsating in coordination with the alien woman's distant guidance. Every move was precise, combining human ingenuity, alien mystic insight, and the invisible thread of their bond. Explosions lit the alien night, metal and crystal shattering in synchronized fury. Kael darted through chaos, feeling her psychic presence guide his path, protecting him from unseen traps. The rescued refugees moved with disciplined precision, their confidence in him unwavering. Every heartbeat, every step, every psychic pulse drove him forward. Kael knew the greatest battle awaited, the ritual chamber, the admiral, the empire itself. But he also knew this. They were stronger together, human and alien, heart and soul, courage and magic. The Star Temple loomed above a jagged mountain plateau, its spires piercing the clouds, glowing with an eerie mix of ancient runes and alien tech. Kael's coalition crouched in shadows, waiting for his signal. The air was electric, charged with anticipation, and the pulsing psychic energy of the alien woman, faint but guiding them. Kael scanned the fortified walls, calculating entry points, while whispers of the psychic bond flowed into his mind. There is a weakness in the northern gate. Timing is everything, she murmured. His heart thumped, not just with the thrill of danger, but the certainty that she was alive and counting on him. As they advanced, waves of imperial soldiers confronted them. Kael led the charge of humans and aliens moving in perfect synergy. Crystal Shard hummed. Pulses of alien psychic energy knocked enemies off balance, and Kael's leadership inspired awe. Every step brought them closer to her. Every obstacle fueled his determination. The psychic link flared violently, warning of traps and guiding each move. He whispered to her mind, "We're coming. Hold on." The woman's response was a spark of warmth, radiating courage and promise. The temple's gates loomed closer. An unspoken duel awaited them, but together, nothing could stop the human and alien pair. Inside the ritual chamber, the alien woman's restraints glowed red, attempting to suppress her lineage's psychic energy. Her aura pulsed with growing intensity as ancestral memories surged within her, feeding her determination. Kael's presence, distant but undeniable through bond, bolstered her strength. "I am not your prisoner," she whispered, voice resonating in both their minds. "I am the pulse of my people, and he believes in me." The energy field flared violently as she pushed against it, sparks of psychic fire dancing across the chamber. Ancient runes shattered, alarms blared, and the enemy guards faltered, stunned by the raw power she unleashed. Kael, sensing her empowerment, grinned. "That's my girl," he muttered under his breath, feeling the bond vibrate with newfound intensity. This was more than a rescue. It was the awakening of a force the Empire had underestimated, a power that now pulsed in perfect harmony with human courage. The alien woman extended her hands toward Kael's psychic essence. Even across the distance, separating them physically, energy flowed between them, warm, luminous, electric. Their minds, hearts, and spirits intertwined in a luminous dance, a ritual older than the stars themselves. Kael felt her fears, her hopes, her every heartbeat, and responded with his unwavering resolve, transmitting courage and protection back to her. Together, they completed the ritual, a dazzling convergence of human determination and alien mystic power. When the energy settled, their bond had transformed. No longer just psychic, but soul-linked. Every thought, every pulse of life was now shared. She whispered into his mind, "Together, always." He replied, closing the gap between thought and feeling, "Always, nothing can undo this." The bond was no longer a secret or fragile. It was a force unbreakable, radiating hope and courage to all allies nearby. With the alien woman fully empowered and their psychic bond blazing, Kael emerged at the head of the allied force. Refugees, human and alien, followed, inspired and emboldened. Kael's voice carried over the battlefield, steady and commanding. "Today, we fight not just for survival, but for freedom. Not just for us, but for every being they've hunted across the galaxy. Stand together, trust each other, and let our courage blaze." The alien woman's aura pulsed in sync with Kael's words, amplifying hope and courage throughout the ranks. Soldiers moved with coordinated precision, guided by psychic insight, human ingenuity, and shared determination. Above, the Empire's ships hesitated, sensing the combined strength of this unlikely force. Kael and the alien woman exchanged a glance, their bond radiating outward, a living beacon that humanity, compassion, and courage could not be underestimated. The stage was set for the final confrontation. Admiral versus bond, empire versus hope, human courage versus tyranny. The sky above the battlefield darkened as the enemy admiral descended in a massive flagship, black as obsidian with crimson energy veins pulsing across its hull. Its shadow fell over the allied forces, and a chill swept through the crystal forests and mountains. Kael stood at the forefront, the alien woman glowing beside him, their psychic bond radiating outward like a beacon. She whispered, "They sense our strength, but together we are unstoppable." The admiral's voice boomed across the battlefield, both mechanical and psychic, reaching into minds and attempting to intimidate. "You dare defy the Empire, human? Alien? You are insects beneath my will." Kael's grin was steady, unwavering. "Insects? Maybe. But insects with hearts, courage, and something you will never understand." The psychic bond pulsed, amplifying his voice and presence across the battlefield. Allies drew courage from it, charging forward. The battle was about to ignite in full force, and Kael felt the weight of responsibility. Every life in his care depended on their combined strength. Earth's defenses activated, fleets from multiple nations joining forces with alien technology. Drones, starships, and psychic-augmented soldiers formed a unified front. Kael moved among them, coordinating, inspiring, and personally guiding small squads of precision and empathy. The alien woman extended her psychic aura, directing energy flows that shielded allies and disoriented enemy ranks. Humans and aliens fought side by side, moving as a single organism guided by Kael's leadership and the psychic resonance of their bond. Kael felt a surge of pride. Humanity was no longer just a bystander. They were a force to be reckoned with, feared and respected across the stars. The Empire's confidence wavered as coordinated attacks tore through their lines. "Terran, they are faltering," the woman murmured in his mind. Kael's eyes gleamed. "Good. Let's finish this." Explosions rippled across the battlefield. Energy blasts collided with psychic shields. The alien woman sent waves of psychic pulses that disrupted enemy formations, while Kael fired precise energy shots, directing refugees to flank key targets. Their bond shone at its fullest. Kael could anticipate her movements. She could feel his thoughts instantly. Together, they orchestrated attacks that no individual enemy could counter. Even the Admiral's elite forces struggled against the synchrony of human courage and alien mystic power. Amid the chaos, Kael and the woman moved like dancers through destruction, rescuing the wounded, protecting allies, striking enemies with deadly precision, and amplifying hope across the battlefield. This was no longer a fight for survival. It was a statement. Humans, with allies and courage, could defy the most ruthless empire in the galaxy. At the heart of the battlefield, Kael faced the Admiral aboard the flagship's bridge, the alien woman beside him, her aura blazing with cosmic energy. The Admiral struck with psychic blasts, energy weapons, and crushing force. Kael dodged, countered, and guided the woman through a synchronized assault, blending human ingenuity and alien power. The psychic bond amplified their abilities, allowing them to anticipate and counter attacks in perfect harmony. The alien woman focused her full mystic energy into a pulse that shattered the Admiral's defenses. Kael seized a moment, landing a decisive strike with a combination of human cunning, courage, and perfect timing. The Admiral faltered, then fell, defeated not by brute force alone, but by the union of human determination and alien mystic power. The battlefield quieted, smoke and psychic energy mingling in the twilight. Allied forces cheered. Refugees, human and alien alike, embraced freedom for the first time in years. Kael knelt beside the alien woman, lifting her hands to his lips. "We did it together." She smiled, warmth radiating, their bond stronger than ever. Together, always. The victory was complete, but Kael knew their journey wasn't over. Rebuilding, healing, and fostering peace awaited. Yet for the first time, he allowed himself to breathe, knowing that their courage, unity, and love had turned the tide of an empire. The battlefield had transformed into a serene landscape, the glow of twilight reflecting off fractured crystal and scattered energy residue. Allied forces were tending to the wounded, and surviving refugees gathered around Kael and the alien woman. Kael knelt beside her, brushing a strand of silver hair from her face. "We survived, and it's because of you. Because of us, together." She smiled softly, her aura pulsing warmly. "No, because of your heart, your courage, and your unwillingness to leave me behind." Their psychic bond flared gently, not from danger this time, but from intimacy and trust. Thoughts, feelings, and emotions intertwined freely. Kael whispered, "I've never known a bond like this, human or alien. I never want to be without it, or you." Her response was a soft laugh and a gentle caress. "Nor I always, Kael. Always." They leaned into each other, sharing a tender, lingering kiss. The war was over, but their connection, psychic, emotional, and physical, was eternal. The battlefield, though scarred, became a cradle for new beginnings. Months later, the coalition had established a sanctuary on Earth for refugees. Children played among glowing alien flora, humans teaching them, aliens guiding them, laughter blending languages and cultures. Kael and the alien woman stood together, watching. Between them was a small hybrid child, human-alien, glowing faintly with psychic potential, and an adopted refugee child, smiling up at them with trust and curiosity. "They're perfect," she whispered, her aura radiating pride and warmth. Kael chuckled, ruffling the hybrid child's hair. "Perfect? Maybe. But they're ours proof that love, unity, and courage can transcend species, and even the darkest galaxy." The psychic bond between Kael and the alien woman now extended subtly to children, a gentle thread of protection and guidance. The family, biological and chosen, was complete. Across species, across cultures, across galaxies, they had forged a symbol of hope and unity. Years later, Kael and the alien woman stood on a cliff overlooking Earth's oceans, the hybrid child and adopted child playing nearby. The skies shimmered with familiar auroras, echoes of the distant stars that had once threatened and inspired them. "Do you ever think about the galaxy before all this?" Kael asked. She smiled, leaning into him. "I do. But now, we've created something even greater, here and within us." Kael took her hand, psychic and physical touch blending seamlessly. A bond that defies empire, war, and fear. That's what humans are, special. That's what we are, together. The children laughed, their energy glowing faintly in the twilight. The bond that had once begun in crisis now radiated hope, love, and unity. Human and alien, heart and soul, courage and magic. Across the stars, the story of Kael and the alien woman became legend, a testament of bravery, compassion, romance, and the enduring power of love that unites worlds.